Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rodriguez from the Sustainability Office at Gardens by the Bay. Just a quick introduction. We are the second national gardens in Singapore. We are also the top tourist attraction in Singapore. We are a relatively young garden, founded and built in 2012. But having said that, the gardens was built with very strong sustainability principle in mind. Solar energy forms a very important part of our overall decarbonization plan. And I think just now we heard from our colleague from EDB. We have recently completed installing over 1,700 panels across the entire gardens with EDP. And we have also been looking for solutions in terms of deploying more solar at the gardens. But however, having said that, because we are a garden, we value green open spaces. So we are looking for innovative solar solutions that can help us to further solarize our operations. So one of the things that we have done recently as well is to put ultra thin solar panel on our garden cruiser. We also make use of our solar panels in collaboration with NTU as well as UK Ecology and Hydrology Center to basically power up this biodiversity monitoring device at the gardens. So now that the phase one of solar panel expansions has been completed, so we are more ready to look at more innovative solar solutions right now. Over the past 2 to 3 years, many vendors have approached us to discuss various forms of solar innovations, innovative solutions such as solar tubes, solar kinetic tiles, solar films. But I think the challenge is really the technical feasibility as well as the cost effectiveness of these solutions. So basically for the innovation challenge, we're looking for 2 particular solutions as exceptionally interesting for us. One will be transparent solar films, because at the gardens we have 2 conservatories. So I think one of our biggest dream is to have the solar films to cover up our glass panels and they can generate solar energy. I think that will be really awesome. So that's our biggest dream. So I think in terms of technical requirements, the films will have to be mostly transparent because we have plants inside we have rare collection of plants, rare plants collection inside the conservatories. So it has to meet certain lighting requirements. And I think what we can provide is also the opportunity to test bed the solution in one of our smaller greenhouses. These greenhouses basically produce plants for our conservatories. So that's something that we can do. Yeah. Another dream of ours really is solar kinetic tiles. Our super trees themselves have solar panels, but I think it will be really awesome as well if we can have the solar kinetic tiles around our super tree grove. Our super tree grove basically is the heart of the gardens where we have festivals, events. So if you have kinetic solar tiles that generate renewable energy at our super tree grove, I think that is also our biggest dream. But I think to make this possible, there are many considerations here. For example, definitely the tiles will have to be durable, weather resistance, and also must be able to withstand not just the pedestrian traffic, as well as heavy vehicles for maintenance. Of course, there's the fire safety guidelines and compliance. And also the tiles will have to be easily removable for maintenance. Yeah. And I think cost will be something that we will be keeping a very strong eye at. So we'll be looking at total installation costs, maintenance costs, life cycle costs. And of course, if there's opportunity to scale up, I think that's also something that we are very keen if the solution is feasible, technically feasible as well as cost-wise. Yeah. All right, I think I'd like to keep my presentation short, and that's all for me.
Well, thank you very much, Rodriguez. So folks, please type in your questions. Certainly, as you can see on this slide, Rodriguez, you're focused very much on cost. Cost is on every line. So if I was to ask you what was the major focus, obviously it is a cost trade-off, but obviously it's the functionality of the film that you still have to be transparent. But when thinking about what you've looked at in the past, people that have presented to you previously, do you think that some of the cost aside for a second, the other biggest issues, is it heat? Is it humidity? Is it, biofouling? What are the types of issues that you think are most probably the really wicked ones that you've got to try to solve?
I think for the transparent solar film, the technology wasn't available 3 years ago when we were first approached. But I think things could have changed now. So we're actually quite keen to hear any new solutions. For the kinetic solar tiles, it's mainly the cost. It's really mainly the cost, as well as the durability of the tiles itself. Because we need the vendor to prove that they are able to withstand the human traffic. Because bear in mind that Gardens by the Bay, we welcome 14.5 million visitors a day. So you can imagine the people, the sure pedestrian traffics that will step on the tiles. But of course, what we can do also is to provide a pilot site. We can actually choose an area that's less visited at Gardens to do a pilot test, which is something that we are very supportive of. Because at the Gardens, we actually work with a few vendors to test bit solution in the Gardens. It's something that we are very familiar with. One of the things that we also test bidded before was to put up solar panels on buggies, but it wasn't that it wasn't that feasible for us. Yeah. So yes.
I see Derek's asked the question of the solar kinetic tiles, would they be installed within the glass houses?
No, we're looking at we are installing we're looking at installing the solar kinetic tiles outside of the glass outdoor gardens.
But they also need to be vehicle durable as well.
Yes.
And are we talking there the sort of the only the carts, or is it could be heavier passenger vehicle or transport vehicles as well?
Transport vehicles as well, because in the outdoor gardens we do have horticultural vehicles to maintain the trees and so on and so forth. So they have to withstand a certain weight. And of course, fire engine requirements from the government.
Okay, so Derek's come back with a few more questions. Can you see those there, Rodrigues? What would your priority? Well, we sort of discussed that, but what would your priority be? Cost efficiency or durability? I think we've sort of it's obviously always going to be a mix, and I guess it depends how much the cost is versus the efficiency or durability. Do you have any sort of frame that you would evaluate that?
I think durability as well as public safety, obviously, that's number one. Then we'll look at how feasible the solution is in terms of cost. If it's still costly, but it's something that's worth exploring, we might limit it to a trial as a small trial. Then we can talk about whether we can scale it up, and then that will perhaps lower the cost of the solution.
Right. David, I'll just quickly respond to this question. David, EDP renewable has been done, but the recording will be sent to you, so you'll be able to get to that later. So do you see the question again from Derek about the what's the maximum static load requirement? Do you have a sense of that?
That would be 20 K. Wait a second. That will be 20. That's basically I highlighted that in yellow. That's basically the load, the maximum load requirement for a fire engine.
Load, and so that's the answer to Derek's question, is it? Excuse my ignorance in the static load versus other. Great, that's done that. And is, where does data play into this? Is there aspects of data that you're wanting to get as, you're utilizing the film? are there measurements required that you'd want to have in a solution as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think we are realistic in terms of we're not expecting these solutions to generate a lot of renewable energy, but at the same time, the whole exercise must be meaningful. Bear in mind that whatever that is being showcased or piloted in the gardens, it will invite a lot of scrutiny as well as publicity. So I think on one hand, cost is a factor, but we also have to ensure that this solution does work and generates renewable energy for our gardens in a meaningful way. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously there are not many other, I can't think of many other showcases like this in the world to show off such a particular solution. It would be seen by, as you say, millions of people all the time, and it would sort of feature heavily. I can sort of ask other questions, but I don't want to extend it just for the sake of, we have another question here. What data measurement do you use to evaluate how successful an idea implemented was? For example, the solar panels on the vehicles that were scrapped. Yeah.
The solar panels on the vehicles, as in our new Garden Cruiser.
Yes, I think the question is getting at, how do you decide? Say in the pilot, what does success look like? And it's back to
I think it really depends on the solution. Because I don't think I can provide an answer to that. Because it really depends on the solution. I think what is reasonable for kinetic solar tiles is very different from a transparent solar film, for example. But we are very open for proposals.